Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Rangers Radio. I'm Southside, and joining me on the show tonight is AK and Albert. How are you, gentlemen?
Evening Southside, evening Albert, evening to Rangers Radio listeners.
Evening Southside, evening AK, evening to everybody else. Nice to be here. How you all doing?
Aye, good mate. I'll give a shout out to all the trips on the YouTube feed that are listening to the show every night. I'll see hello to everyone listening in this evening on other devices and appliances. Aye, good. Yourself, how was your day, Albert?
Every day, mate. I was watching the Masters. So, enjoyed myself.
Is that no start about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Duvy Day?
Aye, 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. Aye, that's what I done, mate. You asked me what I done, that's what I done.
There's nothing wrong with that. Huh? Wish I had time to watch a bit of the Masters myself, but unfortunately some of you can't, AK.
I used to are normally wining and dining anyway, according to Big Stevie, so...
He's no rang, come on, he's no rang, is he?
They just eat loyal.
Aye. Then Mrs. Albert can sometimes come and pick us up. That is disgraceful behaviour sometimes, I think.
That is, because sometimes she's late. So, anyway.
So what you been up to? Sick note?
Aye, recovering for COVID, pal, so I'm feeling a lot better now, thankfully, so I managed to go out and see my mum and dad the day. I hadn't seen them for a while, so aye, apart from that, doing all right.
Aye, well, what can we say about Thursday nights under the lights at Ibrox? Eventful night, Albert. And saying that, before that even kicked off, the Union Bears put on quite a wee party before the game kicked off, quite colourful, quite loud. I think it's been shown in a lot of coverage all over the place. But aye, it was a good wee start to the pre-match before the actual game kicked off, Albert.
Aye, I've seen it online. Outside the laws of the UEFA, I mean, I loved it. There's not a thing they could do about it, no. So I enjoyed it. It looked good, mate. It looked good. Seen a big boy from England up as well. He was enjoying it as well. Aye, well done. Go to the night after a flyer, didn't it?
Oh, aye. You're talking about Mr. Griffin, Big Stevie's pal, AK. That's who he's talking about. I think he was up.
Aye.
It was a good pre-match build-up, AK, before the game outside, and it obviously continued into the game for the 90 minutes for the support.
Aye, good on the UB for doing something like that, a wee carnival, a wee street party. It certainly gets the blood pumping, and for what we've seen in the footage, everybody that was there in attendance certainly enjoyed it. The crowd were in good voice and right up for the game before the game started. But to be fair to the Bilbao support, they did a good contingent in George Square. So aye, it was a game I think the two supporters were looking forward to. But certainly UB, aye, apologies for that, boys, well done.
Aye, well, we've got loads of talking points. Obviously, we'll talk about the team and the players that Barry selected before the game. Maybe see what the listeners thought of that. Obviously, did you think it was the right thing to do, or was it no? At the end of the day, and the stuff that happened in the game for the support, for the Rangers support on the night, Albert, I think, like I said, for the party before the game continuing into the stadium throughout the whole game, although it was a 0-0 draw, the support for the whole time stayed with the team throughout the game. I don't know how it came across maybe for people that listened in that like yesterday, last night and watched it, but I thought the support was loud and proud for the vast majority of the game.
Definitely. I mean, after the sending off, I thought to myself, "Oh, this could get horrible." As a spectacle, that killed it as a football spectacle. Big Proper getting sent off, but the crowd was fine, mate. The crowd just dug in, as the team did, just dug in and got it done. Wasn't it pretty? It's not the best game you've ever watched in your life, but it's probably the grittiest game we've played this season, because they really dug in. Their backs were against the wall, and they were up against a good team. People are saying they never played well. They didn't really play well last night, but you can see they have got quality players, mate. And the Rangers team done well, really well, to get enough and neat draw out of that. After all the things that happened during the game, which I'm sure we'll go through bit by bit. But aye, it looked, the stadium looked good. It was noisy enough anyway.
Aye, Tifo was good enough. I thought it was a cracking Tifo that had done for the Copeland stand. Were you surprised, AK, with the team when you seen
it? No. Because I did intimate in the couple of shows there that I thought that just the way Barry was talking, I think he was really in a quandary about what to do in particular positions, and obviously the one he was in, the balance where was the goalkeeper. But he's justified, he's vindicated with the selection by bringing Kelly in. I just thought it came to the point of who does he trust? And Butland, there's so many individual errors this year. I just thought that he was thinking more for the benefit of the team rather than the individuals, and he picked his team accordingly. For that, obviously they've done their homework. We knew where the dangers was. I actually called a 0-0 the other night, and if you remember, don't be surprised, because Bilbao actually play a similar game to us. They're a counter-attacking team. They're organised, they're resolute, they're industrious in the midfield, hard-working, but they're quick on the break. But because of the way the game transpired, they had the majority of the ball, and it probably unsettled them a wee bit, because they were probably expecting us to have at least 50% of the ball. But it was one of the games. It was going to be down to a mistake or an error or something like that, and the 1 or 2 goals could have been the big factor. But Kelly comes up with a save, didn't he? But we'll speak about that later.
Hi, I think when you seen the team all bear, I think most days when we were talking about it before the game, we had sort of Sterling, Tav, Proper. I'd mentioned Proper, I mentioned Yilmaz. We all thought Balogun would come back. So I think when you looked across the back line, I think most people would have thought that would have been more or less gear tight. You might have moved one out or one in with your own preference, but on the whole, I think when you seen the back line, excluding the goalkeeper at that point, you'd have thought that would have been most of the players that would have took to the field. Or were you surprised the way we set up?
No, it was the only 2 that really surprised me. And he said there was going to be changes, so you're not surprised that there's changes, maybe surprised at the players. But the only 2 really was Kelly and Rice. I mean, all the rest of them most of them were necessity. I mean, Balogun's in because he nobody else to put in. Let's be honest about it. Ridvan's in. I didn't know he was carrying an injury before the game, and that's how he got taken off during the game. But Jeffy get dropped because he's not been playing well. Butland get dropped because he's not playing well. And this dramatisation that Ferguson's going on about it was a tough decision. I'm saying to myself, you think that's a tough decision? Don't watch your manner if you think that's a tough decision. You've dropped a player that's out of form and it's new goals. You've dropped him and you're saying that's tough. What's tough about that, mate? That's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. What's good for the team. If you're not playing well, you do something about it. You just don't go, oh, I like him and he's my pal, but I'm not going to drop him. Well, that's going to get you your books, isn't it? It's got Clemonti's books and it's got Bailey's books. Playing your favourites. Don't play your favourites. You play the people that are on form to stay in the job. And Butland wasn't doing the job, so he should have been sitting on the bench. I gave Butland a man of the match because he strengthened the team sitting on that bench. I'll tell you that.
I thought I'll give him his due. I thought it was the right thing to do because there might be a team. I think maybe people would have looked to see, was he going to come out and congratulate Kelly or wait until he was coming off at the side of the park? But he came right out onto the park, big smile on his face, and rightly so. He should have congratulated him, because I think if you take the penalty save away, at the moment, I think Kelly was immaculate throughout the game. His handling of the ball, his distribution, I thought it was first class, and obviously the icing on the cake is getting the penalty save. So I thought the fact that he came in that magnitude of game, and Jack Button would know this, AK, because he's been a number 2 at clubs, and he would have known what it feels like to be a number 2. I'm sure Kelly's been there for him when he's made mistakes in the last number of months or a calendar year, but his goalkeeper shouldn't in that and support him. But it was Kelly's turn, and Jack, I think rightly, couldn't really complain. I thought the magnitude of the game might have swayed Barry to keep him in, but then if he has a bread and butter mistake in him, then we're all going to say, well, he's been doing this for weeks and months, so why would you think last night would have been anything different? So I think it was a big call for that game coming up, whereas he could possibly have made it the week before or weeks before that, AK. But all in all, it was proved to be the right decision in drafting Jack Butland for the game.
It was the right decision as far as the team goes, and obviously the result, in my opinion, vindicated that decision. I don't know if the listeners agree with that. It'd be good to hear their thoughts on it. But Barry recognised that, as I said, the previous shows, he's got no allegiance to any of these. He's got no, loyalties to any of the individual players. He's been looking on for the outside, obviously been the kind of, what do you call it, the administrator kind of guy that he's been for the club. He's there in you call them the function rooms and the corporate suites and all that, and speaking to supporters. He's a supporter himself, he's played for the club, he's captained the club, and he's now in the fortunate position where he's actually picking the team for the club. So his loyalty is to Rangers, and what's the best move for the team, and he thought that Kelly coming in was the best move for the team, and so it proved to be. So, for my opinion, he was vindicated. It's all Bear has said for a while. He's picked out his faults, his individual errors. We've all seen them. So why are we sticking with a guy just because, I'm not sure, Kelly's not got much experience at that level? But what's the experience that Butland's got, making mistake after mistake after mistake? His confidence is shot to pieces. So I think he was actually relieved a wee bit, if I'm honest with Southside. Whether that ends his Rangers career or no is a completely different matter. But would I lose sleep over it if we never see Butland in a Rangers jersey again? No, I wouldn't. And the wage he's on the day, heard with Stevie Clifford, don't know if this is true, he's on over 40 grand a week, Southside. Butland for, and I don't know what hell he's going. But that's not a bad player to move on in my books if he decides, no, I can't stay at this club.
I think it's like in. I mean, he came with Bolton. He was the number 1 goalkeeper, and at the moment, is over a period of months, he's been out of form, and it tallies up to the point where you say, well, can't really defend you, Jack. It's bread and butter stuff here. It's not like, it's a simple header back at Dundee where you can't collect the ball and it leads to a goal. So he's been making errors with his feet. He's kicking, try to catch the ball. He's punched it into the net in a big European tie, and just in the bread and butter in the league, we've all picked faults on him. So I think when most people saying Kelly was in, the only thing about him was flinging him in right there and then. A massive game, albeit, and he's a number 2, and you're meant to be ready when called upon. But a massive game for him and his European debut for Rangers last night.
He's got. If Kelly comes in and has a bad game, he didn't have a bad. He's a good game last night. Right, he done himself well. He's proud. Not I mean, he stood up to it well. You would give him credit for that. Pulled off a couple of good saves. The penalty save kept you in the tie. Could be kept you in the tie. It's so for that point, the boy done well, and Ferguson gets vindicated because he picked Kelly. Now, if Kelly didn't have a good game, Ferguson's nothing to blame himself for. He's no choice. He's got to take Butland out of the firing line. He's just got to, mate, because he's crap. And this bit of it, he's out of form. Forget about that. You read out the stats the other night. He's no out of form, mate. He's just a bad keeper. Look at his figures for the other clubs, mate. It's ridiculous. 100 games for us, and he's shipped 101 goals. That's borderline criminal, mate. That really is borderline criminal. And then you said the one about the Stoke career when he was at Stoke. I mean, that's shocking. Absolutely shocking. So we think he's a good keeper and he ships all these goals. He's sitting saying, you need to have over 1,000 goals. For the Stoke one, you need to have 1,000 shots fired at you to vindicate that, make that into a good start, the goals he's lost there. He's doing it all over the place, mate. He sits on the bench at Crystal Palace because because that's what he is. That's his best. He is a backup keeper. And he's third choice at Manchester United. And we bring him and they start singing songs of Super Jack Butland. You're sitting going, what's super about him? I don't see the super bit about this guy. He's made more mistakes in a season than any other keeper I can remember. But anyway, enough of him. We won. We got a good result last week. Let's concentrate on that.
Aye, at the end of the day, the decision was made and Kelly came in. It was a massive game from, like I said, European debut and that. And as we're going about talking about the game, midfield, did you find it was a surprise in midfield? I'll not come to AK, right? I'll come back to you quickly, Albert. Did you think flinging Bailey Rice and Hadji in? Sorry?
Can I quickly say, just on Albert's point, see the 100 games, 101 goals, see what makes it worse? Is he 39 clean sheets in there? So in 61 games, he's lost 101 goals. Over 1.5 goals for every one of the games. That makes it.
I think it's Stoke. I'm doing this half memory now. When I had the figures in front of me, I think it was 168 games, 50 clean sheets, and lost 235 goals. So the stats there. No, stats can mean anything,
but this. No, goalkeeping stats don't mean anything. They mean one thing, mate. You're a bad keeper and you're losing all 8 goals. Come on. This is no half form. He's a Shareria keeper, mate. He really is. He needs to go. We need to get rid of him as soon as possible. We need a better keeper than that. Because, no, you're not going forward. If we keep persevering with these type players, him, Dessers, people like that, Hadji, Lawrence, people like this, if we keep messing about with these people, we're not going to move an inch forward. We need to start clearing these guys. We were already doing last season or last summer. We got rid of a load of them. Now these people need to go. And we need to stop being too loyal to these people. And that's what's happened to Ferguson. He's fell into the trap that Bale and Clement fell into. Too loyal to these bang average players. Thinking, they talk a good game and I'll need to put them in. Nonsense, mate. And if Ferguson told you, or he's coming up in his interview, so I'll not say it to hear his interview, but and it was last night's interview, wasn't it? Aye, so he's telling you that he likes Big Jack, and Big Jack, he's known Jack since he was at Birmingham when he was down there and Jack was a boy, and I know he's hurting and I don't like to hurt him and blah, blah, blah. And you're sitting going, what are you talking about? The guy's crap. Your job is on the line here. Your job is to win football games. That's what you told us when you wrote in. That was your remit, win football games. And you've got a clown and a keeper in there that's throwing the ball in the net practically. And you're now telling us Big Jack Butland's got an important part to play in this club. What? Was he on the coats, going for the oranges? What does he do? What's the important part? Because it's no keeping goal, that's for sure. Because he's a clown. He's a total clown, mate.
I think I don't expect him to be back in the team. I said once Kelly gets a chance, I thought he might have went with Butland last night. But Kelly got it last night, and I think Liam Kelly will be in the end of the season. I don't see any reason why you would want to change it, or you have to change it. I think you give him it to the end of the season. Jack Butland, if he's still at the club come the summer and there come next season, then it'll be down to him to fight for a place and change for him. And whoever comes in that's leading the team next year will have a look at that if he's still here. But I think if he's on these sort of wages, and I think probably the best thing for us is probably to get him off the wage bill and look at somebody else. I thought last night, as we started the game, once we sort of seen the team sheet, you seen Hadji and Rice were in the team, which I was surprised, but I thought it was a good choice. it was good to see him showing faith in young Bailey and putting him in there and setting out a plan. And it was unfortunate that as the game, we had a chance in the first 4 minutes. AK, when Tierney cut in for the wing, thought he was going to lay it off at some point. The shot was pretty well by the post, but it was intent. Just up to about 5 minute mark where we started quick, and I thought, well, that's good intent. At least we look like we're in the game. Starting off quick, and obviously it all changes in the 12 minutes. But it was the first chance in the game, and we were on the front foot, which I like to see.
It was a typical move for Tierney, wasn't it? He's cutting in his left hand for the right onto his left foot and looking to get the shot away. But as you say, it missed the mark by quite a distance. But at least you're showing intent there. You know, at least you're telling Bilbao you've got a game here tonight. You know, so it's just one of the you had to start positive. You know, because if you bank two banks of fives and just let them have the ball, it's going to be a hell of a long night. As it turned out to be a hell of a long night regardless, particularly with the proper challenges, as we'll soon speak about. But you've got to show intent. You know that you're going to throw a punch back to these sort of teams, and that's certainly what we did.
Then obviously comes a game-changing moment. We're slacking a pass. It gets cut out into midfield. And it's an easy pass to the boy Williams. He's got a space in between Balogun and Proper when he picks the ball up. And once he gets by Balogun, Proper brings him down. And where I was sitting at first, I was really unsure if it was in the box or no, because it was very close. But I think when I seen it back last night, I think it's a red card, Albert, and I don't think we can have any complaints. If he goes by Proper, he's in goal. And I don't think anybody's getting close to him, to be perfectly honest, in the position that he's in.
Well, to start off, Tierney's shot, that was a sum total. We're attacking all night, the way the game panned out. But the Proper caused all that. But he gives a slack pass to Balogun. Balogun's not really paying attention. He gives him the pass. He then tries to. He gets on the ball, and then he just bangs it into midfield. Gives the ball away. Guys on it. What a flash! Bang bang. Couple of wee one pass through to Williams. Balogun slides in, misses putting the ball out to go into Williams, and that leaves Proper himself. He jumps in, brings him down. At the initial, I thought it was a penalty myself. But then you see it in slow motion, they say, no, it's not a penalty, it's a foul. And it was a red card. I mean, I don't like it, but it was a red card. You don't often see them getting red cards for that close to the goal, but it is by the letter of the law, it's a red card, so you've no complaints with it. No, I mean, really, I'd love to complain about it, but you haven't really got one, have you? Well, I don't think so, anyway.
Nah, I'll be perfectly honest, AK. The minute if he goes by Proper there, he's in goal. I mean, Ridvan's neighbour near him, and John Sterling's neighbour near him. He's going straight through in goal, 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. So, and that's the letter of the law. And if it'd been the other way about, I'd have been expecting a red card. And once he had probably looked at it, I know the ref at the time gave him a yellow. And I did think it was a bit of a challenge for what I seen for where I sit, but no qualms. I can't complain about the red card.
Well, as you say, that is the letter of the law. McCoy certainly didn't seem to think so. I don't know if you've seen any of the footage for last night in D&T, but he was scathing about it. The rules all rang, and if that was actually inside the box, it would have been a penalty, but Proper would have stayed on the part. So where's the kind of justice there?
Well, that's not technically true, because there is a rule that if you take an opponent out in the box without trying to play the ball, then you can be sent off for that as well as a penalty given.
Did they not change that rule?
I don't know. I don't know.
No, they called it.
I thought the double jeopardy thing came into that you weren't.
I think there is, but I'm sure I might be wrong, or it was there originally, that if you're cynically taking a player out in the box, then the ref can show you a red card as well as give the penalty. And that used to be the ruling all the time. Because players were getting sent off, like as you know, for just to bring them down in the
It's
box.
that's not the rule now.
It was, if it was cynical. But anyway, I think the rule's fine. He was outside the box. He brought him down. It was the last man. That's the rule. If you're the last man, then you go off. Simple, innit?
There was actually another Atletico player bursting into the box at the same time as Williams as well. So the two of them, it was a goal scoring opportunity. I try and look at it. If it's up the other end of the park, am I screaming for a red card or a penalty? Aye. So that answers my question. I didn't have any complaints with it, but I'm sure there'll be bears out there disagree with us.
Aye, well, if anybody wants to disagree, fine, come on, tell us what you think. I just looked at it was the last man. I think after that sort of curtailed us as a force going forward. I thought it would just be moments after that old bear. We sat in a shape. The players were very disciplined in the shape. I thought Sterling was doing very well on the right wing on the Williams bra. Nico Williams and Aki Williams on the other side, I think, was getting dealt with Ridvan. I thought Ridvan had a really good game against him. I thought in the first half he was really, really good, and it got to a point where they actually switched him about to see if they could get any joy, which they didn't. Once or twice they had a wee chance, but on the whole I thought we dealt with they two very well, and I thought discipline-wise in the midfield we were really good. What
really impressed me the whole night, but the thing that really, really impressed me was how quick we went into the shape after Proper got sent off, and how quick and how easy we adapted that to that shape and stuck to it, and was disciplined in it. That was really impressive, man. Because usually when something like that happens and a player gets sent off, it takes you 5, 10, 15 minutes to get used to the adjustment the manager's trying to get you into. But we adjusted right away, and it just seamless, mate. It's just seamless, and we handled them pretty easy. I thought in the end up. I thought because we had to do it that way. There was no other way of doing it, and we had to keep the wingers quiet because the wingers are all about counter attack, mate. They're lightning quick. You can see it. They're lightning quick. They'll get quality. We denied them the space, but sacrifice your tackling for that. So,
you're going to put oil in that door.
Aye, okay. That's my hospital door, that one.
As long as it's not the trap door. Here, listen. Do you know something though? Did that performance last night no give you a wee reminisce of Walter in 2008? The organised, gritty performance. I'm the same as you, but I'm actually quite pleased with how we dug in, and everybody was knowing their position, knowing their role, shutting the lines. All right, we gave up possession there, but I've heard Andy Halliday speak about it. We dominated the kind of pitch and shutting down the lines and restricting shots on goal. I mean, Kelly had quite a quiet game last night, considering the possession that Bilbao had.
Aye, because with the two Williams brothers weren't getting much joy at all. Once I think he broke on Tav late on in the first half, but he gets shut down with Sterling, and I think because we kept him sort of quiet, albeit they were obviously picking pockets of passes round about us, but I thought discipline-wise, I thought all the hard work, especially when you're asking players like Hadji, where you think he's maybe a creative player and we sometimes criticise players, even Bizrami when he's been in there, and sometimes they don't track back, but I thought Hadji last night worked his socks off for the team in the defensive areas. I thought Bailey Rice went in and done what he did when he got on the ball. He made the wee passes and stuff, and he ran about, marked his men. And the same as Raskin, he was always diving forward, trying to pick something, and we were robbing him in certain areas of the park at times. 2-on-1, Tav would date with Raskin, and would break away with the ball, but we just didn't have that extra man to give the outlet. But in moments, we managed to get ourselves up the park, but it really took them to 39 minutes before Kelly actually had to save, which he tipped to the bar, to give them a corner. That was a real first step that our goalie had to make a save, and obviously for then he had I used to call it the save for the cameras, but what a save when he dives up and catches the ball. All modern goalkeepers all seem to punch or parry, and had a player coming right in and top him if he'd spilled it. But to just catch it in the air and bring it down, I thought it was a cranking save, Albert.
Oh, it was a good save, mate. People might think it's going for the cameras, but he still held on it. It's very unusual to see that in modern day football. But as I say, he played well. You got to give him the boy due. He played well. I heard somebody else on the podcast saying that Rice was man marking the number 8. I'd agree with that, actually. No, I mean, the boy played well. He never done anything that you could say was wow, but he done his job. He stuck to his task, and his task was to marshal that centre midfield, and he done that really well. So it was good, mate. Everybody done their bit. Hadji, I think he get roared at with Ferguson, and that's how he kicked into a game. But that's the best Hadji's played from a defensive point of view ever for us, by the way, because that's just no his game. But he had to do it last night, because anybody slacked last night was going to be really, really exposed, and he's going to be shown up. So I think they all decided it was not going to be me. I'm not getting shown up here. I'm digging in. But they worked well, mate. It did work well. And they are a good team. They never played particularly brilliant last night, but you can see there'll be quality, mate. Real quality. So we've done well to hang in there. And that's all it needs, isn't it? We did say we wanted to stay in the tie together there. They're expected to win over there. Of course, they're home advantage. But they are a counter-attacking team, mate. They really are. And if you can deny them that space again, as I say, it was an ugly game. It was horrible, an ugly game, but it was nothing to do with how it all looks and pretty football. It was all about getting a job done. And it was 4 stones at the end, not with proper getting sent off. But at the end of the day, we dug in and got a result, and we're still in the tie. And anything can happen in football.
Aye, well, I think if it's all right with you, Tim, we better get the phone lines open. Hopefully we'll get a few calls in, loads to talk about. Obviously, the game last night, we're still in the tie. We think the selection might be going forward on Sunday. As we'll be looking for another response like last night. Now, this is it going forward. There's loads to talk about. And obviously, we could be taking we could potentially, we're still in the time, we could go into a semi-final of Europa League. So let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
So I think last night, obviously, like we're saying, there, Kelly has like 2 saves in the space of a minute. Puts it out of the bar. The only sort of first chance I think we really gave them as a shot at our goal. With a couple of blocks before that. But I think when he was called upon, that was the first time. And then obviously he catches the one for the header. It was a good header. Shouldn't have allowed them to get the header. Nice glancing header, but it was a great save and take for Kelly, which meant we could win just before half time 0-0, although Dessers has a chance with a header. But apart from that, I think we looked solid going in at half time with the 0-0 score.
Aye, well, obviously the sending off is dictating how we're going to play now and how we're going to set it up. So Barry's organised the team, to plug the gaps that Proper would play, and obviously we're not going to be as offensive as he was hoping to be, but going down to 10 men that early in the game, and because of the kind of delays obviously in the second half, and that we actually played a full 90 minutes against the 4th best team in Spain, against a team that was second tap out of everybody in the Europa League, and we're still in the tie. That speaks a lot for the team and the character of the team that Barry keeps going on about, and what we want to see. That was a Rangers performance last night. That's how back to Walter. That was a Walter style performance. Just keep yourself in the tie. How many ties did Walter have at Ibrox? A 0-0, and then we'll go away for him. And I think at that time, if I'm right, the away goal couldn't it, because I think we got through a tie or two Southside on that ruling. So it was one of them. It was our backs to the wall show a bit of grit, show a bit of determination, a bit of character, and show the support what it actually means. And this is where the frustration kicks in, because if we can do that against a far better level opponent, why are we not doing that at home? For me, and we've spoken about it before, it's because it's a totally different game. I think we're more comfortable being that counter-attacking team rather than a team that's dominating possession. McCoy spoke about it after the game, because we're up against a Ross County or a Motherwell or that. They come to Ibrox and it's 2 banks of 5, and we're trying to get through them, and we don't have the class of player to get through them. So that sort of game last night actually suits us in Europe, and I think that's why I was quite confident that we would still be in the tie after the 90 minutes last night.
Aye, I think obviously we've come out second half, and I think we never made any changes at the start, or talking at half time with different people, and we just thought maybe just need to stay in this sort of shape. We can't be too adventurous, because you knew the threat that they had when having the spare man. But I thought Albert, I thought we dealt with the threat well. It wasn't until just about the 60-minute mark or something round about then where they managed to get down the sides and put a ball across. And the boy, I did think he was going to score, but he put it by the post for about 6 yards. And it was really the first time where they'd go in behind us and down the flanks, because we're in quite narrow. And that was their first real good chance, and thankfully it went by the post.
He should have scored, let's be honest about it. He should have scored, but he didn't. And that's what matters, mate. He's at the end of the day, I thought they didn't threaten us a lot. I don't know if we used, but that whole game, I think that one chance there and the one that they scored was about it. I didn't think they really threatened us. But we were using everything we had to stop them playing, let's be honest about it. We weren't causing any problems for them whatsoever. They basically just walked about Ibrox, strolled about Ibrox and done what they wanted. So we sacrificed everything because of proper, but I think we still would have sacrificed everything to do the same thing to close them down. Because if you open up with them and you press them and you lose the ball, and you know, like we can be sloppy passers at times. They'll break on you and they'll break quick, and you ain't catching them. They're gone, and they're quality players. They will finish. So, to that point of view, I thought we had handled them well, but we had to use everything at our disposal to do it.
Aye, because we obviously probably got a rollicking, because they were making a lot of changes during the second half as well. He was trying to change it. The only other one I remember was the one the referee booked on for simulation in the box, and I've seen it back. I don't know what your thoughts were on it, AK. He does seem to run into Balogun. Balogun does seem to place a foot there, but doesn't actually move it towards the ball and the player comes in. But it's one of them when you're in Europe, you don't know what the referee's going to give. But when they blew the whistle, straight away he just went, because he was watching it from behind the player, from where he was standing, and in his eyes, and clearly he thought it was a simulation.
Aye, well, listen, the referee only gets one look at it, doesn't he? And he's making a clear decision in his eyes, in his mind, what he sees, and he books the boy, quite rightly so. I think he's trying to be clever, the guy, isn't he? He's making the contact with Balogun there, looking for the penalty to gain his team an advantage, but the referee's seen right through it. Personally, I thought the referee was okay last night, but I see some things out there today that UF has actually said that's you that's the end of the tournament for you, and can I bind the referee, which I think's a bit harsh. I mean, Mourinho's coming out there with all the conspiracy theories that Bilbao, UEFA want Bilbao in the final and they'll get them there no matter what it means. I don't know whether you buy into that, but what did you think yourself of the referee's performance, Albert, outside?
On you go, Albert.
It was so. I mean, it was VAR. It was actually giving the dodgy decisions, but I thought he should have booked a couple more of them. I don't know how many of them were on a book and would have missed the next game. But are you saying that's him finishing the tournament? He's not a referee in that game?
Aye, that was the statements coming out today. For me, that looks as if UEFA's, covering their back with binning him and basically backing up the VAR. As you say, the VAR was them that gave the red card, and it was also them that gave the penalty. So for me, it looks as if we'll try and cover this up a wee bit away for the VAR team, and we'll just blame the referee. That's what it looked like to me. That's a bit harsh on the ref, I thought.
I thought the ref probably could have booked one or two of them for certain fouls in the game. Pulling somebody back was one of them. I can't remember who it was he pulled back, but Petty maybe the push on Hadji. Some referees might have gave it as he ran over. And there was a couple other sort of fouls that they had.
I never gave it him. So I never gave it him because he's already booked. He's going off the park. That's how he never.
Right. But I thought a couple of his decisions were a wee bit baffling, but on the whole, I thought he wasn't the worst I've seen. And you're always like that. When you get the foreign referees, some go, when you go in hard in a tackle and that, they're blowing the whistle straight away and stuff, but they were physical as well, and they will be physical next week in the return game, so, and then we'll be expecting to get more decisions at home, the pressure will get put on them. But when they booked Barry as well at the side of the park, I take it that was down to the fourth official, he's probably had a bite at him or something. I think that was maybe to do with the Hadji one, or it was a pullback on one of your players in the middle of the park. I think it was one of them where he was moaning about it, and the ref went and booked him.
Was that to me?
Aye. I was surprised the ref just went and booked him, but obviously he's had a wee nibble at the fourth official.
He's probably said something out of turn. You know what the officials are like. Or maybe he's burnt his tea or something. So, but it's just one of the things, isn't it? It's not what Barry not to get a booking either, Albert, is it?
No.
He's my manager.
He's passionate. But at the end of the day, I think it was the one in Hadji pushed there. But that guy, that was a booking, man. That was a unnecessary booking. But he'd already booked him, so he wasn't definitely going to send it. Wasn't sending any of them off. I'm still trying to get in my head why they've binned him. I don't understand that. Or is it he's just got the quarterfinals? We've got other referees to get their shot in the second leg, and semi-finals and final. It's a roster. I don't know. Or rotate them. I don't know.
I think it's why he was remaining.
He said he wasn't the worst referee we've had.
No, I think he was quite high up. I think he had quite a big high-profile game last season for his remaining. So, like I said, I didn't think he had a bad performance or anything like that.
Well, he's not the same. He's not the same league as Clancy for being a banger. No, I mean he's nowhere there. No.
Well, you can see in Scotland sometimes you get rid of referees, VAR officials, for not doing their job properly, Mr. Muir. So if they're demoting them or whatever they're doing, we'll find out in time. If you two guys would like to go and mute, Barry had a wee interview today talking about our injury list and stuff for last night. Just a wee short. I think it's about 5 minutes long, so if you want to hit mute, guys, we'll hear what Barry had to say.
Barry, just looking back on last night, firstly, have you had much of a chance to get any sleep?
No, I think you can see that I've not had much sleep, but listen, that's part of being a manager. Look, it was a late night. I went back and obviously watched the game, and now my focus has got to go on to Sunday. We've got a tough game against Aberdeen. So, yep, it's a quick turnover, but that's the way it is at Rangers.
You wanted improvements. You said to me after the Hibs game that you were demanding improvements. Do you feel you've now set the benchmark in terms of what you can do, especially defensively?
Yeah, that's more like a Rangers team for me last night. Look, we could play better with the ball, but circumstances, obviously, we're losing Robin after 10 minutes. It becomes difficult, but I just thought the application, the desire of the boys was there for everybody to see, and that's the way that I want my Rangers team playing going forward.
Does that also show that you got your message through and that meeting you had with the players, whether it be robust or not, everyone was able to air their views and now you move forward as one?
Yep, look, I think it was important. I thought about it for obviously Saturday night and Sunday, and I just thought it was the right time to go and close the door and have a real serious chat, because it is a concern. It was a concern. It has been for a long time. But listen, it was, as I said, it was really positive. I came out the meeting in a good frame of mind. So did the players, and we had a few good training sessions. And I think you've seen that with the performance last night. It was a team that dug deep. It was a team that looked to me at the real togetherness about it, and that's what you need to have at Rangers.
From a personal point of view, you had to make some big decisions last night. The main one probably being the goalkeeper. Do you take some personal satisfaction that worked, or is that just what you have to do when you're a Rangers head coach?
Yeah, these are decisions you have to make. I said last night it was a tough one for me. Look, I think Jack's a quality goalkeeper. I've got a good relationship with Jack, and also I've got to be mindful of how he's feeling, because it was a sore one for Jack to take. But listen, he's responded in the right manner. He was disappointed, but I think you seen last night at the end of the game the way he went up to Kells and congratulated him on, which was a really good performance. That's what Jack's all about. And I said he's still got a big future here. He could be back in between the sticks on Sunday. He could play next Thursday, who knows. I've got to make the decisions, but as a manager, sometimes are really tough, and that was probably one of the toughest I had to make. But look, it was an opportunity for Kells to come in and show that he has got the capabilities of playing at Rangers. I know he came in and he played a few games at the turn of the year, but I thought last night he showed that he's willing to go and take that chance, and I thought he did that last night.
A couple of players got stretchered off last night as well. In terms of the injuries as a whole, where are you at just now?
There's a few ones that are obviously struggling to make Sunday. Bailey, for instance, come off where he got a bump in the back of his neck. He's okay, he's fine, he's in today. I said last night after the game he was going about the dressing room, so we need to wait and see if he's going to be available for Sunday. And I just get a bit of bad news about Dujon. He's going to be long term. He's had a serious one. So I'm devastated for him for a few reasons. He's come in and I think he's been immense for me at the back. He's had his injury issues, and now we need to suffer another lengthy time on the sidelines, which I'm devastated about. But listen, that's football. We need to move on. And we'll get round about Duj, because as I said, he's a popular member of the dressing room. He's been a big player for me, and we just need to make sure we get him back fit as quickly as we can.
How long are you talking then when you say long term?
I don't know exactly, but I mean long term. So I'm not a medical expert, but I've spoke with the doctor. He'll go for surgery on Monday. And we'll just need to wait and see how that surgery goes.
Moving it on to Aberdeen now, given that this Aberdeen game's sandwiched in between the European games, how difficult will it be, given the effort you put in last night, to make sure you've got a squad ready for this one?
Well, it's always difficult going up to Aberdeen. We'll expect a tough game. They've picked up over recent weeks, and I need to make a decision again. There's some players that I asked to play last night who were carrying slight knocks. They went out in the pitch and performed for me. So I've not made any decisions at this moment in time. I need to give it another day, and then tomorrow I'll assess the squad, and then we'll see who's fit and available to go.
Big rivalry this game, but do you have to prioritise Europe ahead of this one, or does it go back to what you said to me on Saturday about dealing with the bread and butter and making sure you're ready to fight on all fronts?
Yeah, well, we've got a big opportunity next Thursday, but what I'm concerned about is Sunday and who's fit and available, and we need to get that. We need to get points on the board as well. I know we're sitting comfortably in second place, but I want to win every game. And whoever goes out in that pitch, whoever I select, whether it's somebody that's been out the picture for a long time, they need to go and show me that they've got the capabilities of playing here. That's why you carry a squad. So I just need to wait and see. Look, if I'm being honest with you, who I've got fit and available. But whoever I put out, I'll demand that they go and put a performance on and get the 3 points.
Aye, interesting stuff in these interview. Albert, I suppose the two bits of news first and foremost we wanted to hear was how was Bailey Rice. Because I seen it at the game, but I was unsure. I actually thought the boy had done him with an elbow. Seen the collision, I wasn't sure. Seen it back one clip only, and it looks like he sort of goes into his shoulder. And then when he hit the ground, seen how quickly the players, and as the ref went there, he was blowing his whistle rapid, and all the players were telling the medical team to come on. So then realised it must have been serious at that point.
The actual coverage, it was disgraceful, mate. You're watching it at TNT, you're watching it, you never see, you don't know what happened to him. They never showed you anything for ages. They just, camera was in the crowd, it was up the tunnel, it was in the dugout, it was everywhere but in the park. And you're saying, what happened to the boy? Never showed you a replay, don't know the injury. Didn't even know there was a stretcher coming on to the actually, they panned round and you seen they seen him getting put on a stretcher. You're going, what is actually happening here? Nothing. It is shocking coverage by that mum. But it seems it wasn't serious. Well, we didn't know that at the time, but it seems that I don't think he's going to be playing on Sunday, but at least he's no damaged seriously, mate, which is good news. Big Sterling, I don't even know what happened to him. What actually happened to him? Did anybody see what happened to him?
When the ball came in the box, he went up for a header, and when he came down on his left, I think it was his left foot hit the ground first, and I think all his weight went right into his ankle on the one leg, and then for then you could just tell he was struggling, and then it was inevitable he was coming off, because at that point that was going to put us down to 9 men, and I think if he could have come back on, he would have, but no, the damage seems to be in Achilles, snapped his Achilles, and he's going in for an operation on Monday, which will put him out for a number of months. So it's unfortunate. I feel sorry for the big man, because we've spoke about him on here, AK. We've said he doesn't seem to get a run of games, he seems to break down, no be fit, struggling with fitness, and he was playing really well last night. And then now, but he's going to be long term, as Barry said.
I gutted for him, pal. He's all his attributes is there to be a good football player for our team. You know, the strength, his stature, the physique. He's a big guy. He's quick. You know, he's quick to learn. Play wherever in the team. You know, Clement had him everywhere, and Barry's had to utilise him a couple of positions as well. He seems to be one of the guys that managers like to have in their team. They'll probably not settle down to a single position, but you still need the utility players to put round about the park wherever, when and ever you need them. But you need them to be available, and unfortunately that's where Sterling has been really, really unlucky. I felt heart sorry for him. I think it is a snapped Achilles, Albert, for what they're talking about. Big Shooter knows all about that. I think he snapped his twice. So to say, Barry says he's going into his operation there on Monday, so that'll be the season for him. And hopefully he makes a recovery. I think there is a player in there, but if it's going to carry on into next season, Albert, I think we might have to be looking a bit offloading. Because we've had too many of these players, haven't we? We're giving them good wages, and they don't. I mean, Cortez and Roof and Danilo, and you could say some of them are unlucky with their injuries, but they need to be available, and that's the problem.
We see, I think all teams carry these sort of injuries, but we get more fair share, let's put it that way. Big Sterling, he's a rare big player, there's no getting away for that. And I thought on the south side, I thought he had a really good game last night, playing really well. There you go. If you could keep him in your team, get available in the squad for most of a season, you'd be some asset. But the truth of the matter is, it doesn't seem to work out that way. So I am agreeing with you, mate. It's time we look at all these players seriously and say, look, if you can't stay fit, it's maybe not a club for you, because there's other teams that you wouldn't get the same demands put on them as there is at Rangers, you know what I mean? So it might be the time for him to move on. I know that's a bit of a cruel thing to say when the boy's been injured, he's going for an operation. At the end of the day, it's professional football, isn't it? But I feel sorry for the boy. I like the boy. I think he's a cracking player.
He has. He's done well. He was really doing well last night. AK, I thought he took Boy Williams and both brothers that swapped wings. I thought he dealt with them well. Thought he'd done his job well. Covered well with Tav as well. Two of them done well together. Looking forward to maybe getting a run in the team at the end of the season, which we were hoping to see. And just unfortunately last night, this happens. And unfortunately for us, is what normally happens to some of our defenders. They take an injury and it's quite long term, according to Barry. So it's definitely out for the remainder of this season, and Barry will be ready for pre-season or no, we don't know. We'll just see how the operation goes and what the extent of the damage is completely later on. Might get a better assessment of it.
Aye, we certainly wish him all the best, but you're right. Our full defence was excellent last night. It just shows you, see, when you just keep it simple, just do your job, look after your man, keep it solid, keep it organised. We've got players there that can, be defenders. We've picked holes in them all year for their deficiencies. Tavernier and Ridvan and Balogun, Suter, Sterling, Proper, picked holes in all of them. But see, when you tell them, just hold your position, look after your man, pull your midfielders in. That's what was most impressive about that performance last night. It was a real team performance, and we're still well in this tie. I'd say, what would you say now? I would say Bilbao are still favourites, but a 60-40 chance, I think.
Well, that's the way I look at it, is we've been scoring away for him in Europe, so hang me. I fancy our chances with 11 men on the park. As we're talking about Sterling, I'll just come quickly because we're coming to the tune. When it came to the penalty, Albert, I know what your thoughts have been in the past, so I take it they'll still stay the same regarding handball.
The only reason I say all handballs are penalty kicks is because it keeps all these grey areas. This is what you're getting. And if you're going with what you want, no, I'm not thinking that's a penalty. I'm saying, no, that's a bit harsh, that one. But this is what you get. You get anything you can get subjective to a referee's decision like that. He's got. This is what you get. This uncertainty. Nobody knows when they're going to give a penalty kick, when they're not going to give a penalty kick. So as far as I'm concerned, if that's the case, take that uncertainty away, take it out of the hands of the referee. Every handball is a penalty kick, and that's the end to it. Then we've no complaints. Nobody's any complaints. I know Ox keeps saying, but there's certain players will be aiming the ball at your hands, your arms. No, it's up to you to keep your hands out the way, innit? It's part of football. It's but that's the way it used to be. Handball in the box, penalty kick. That nice and black and white, nice and simple. Do all of a sudden it's the shape of your body, if you've no extended your arm. Oh, God, a nonsense of the day. So you get these referees who don't like certain teams. I'm not going to give you a penalty kick because it's my decision. It's what I think this is happening. We'll take that away from him and say, okay, there's some decisions like that for you, but that one, take penalty kicks and handballs, there's no one of them. All handballs.
See, I know what you're saying, and then I'll disagree slightly. So we'll need to try and cover this quickly because we're going to the tune. And James, I know you've called the show. We're going to phone you back straight after the tune. We'll get you on just after 9 as the tune's about to come on. AK, I thought it was harsh. I thought he's trying to keep his balance. He's got his eye on the ball. It just hits him on the hand as the player kicks the ball. At the game, I never saw it. For the angle I saw, I never seen the handball. Didn't even have a clue what was happening. So I thought it was harsh, but Albert wants penalties for it.
Aye, I thought it was harsh, but I can see why it's given. For me, Sterling, he's aware that there's a player there just at the back of him. He's looking at the ball, and that split second he turns. I think he's grasping to see where the guy is, to try and feel him, to see where it is, and that's where it brushes his hand. Cuts inside, into Kelly makes a good save, rebounds, and then the guy sticks it away. It is offside, the goal, but it's a harsh one from your point of view. But these are the daft rules that they come up with now. But the thing that I feel sorry about is everybody in the stadium. That was 8 minutes of delay, and I bet you nannies a clue what they were looking at.
Well, to be honest, when he scores, because where I was sitting and I could see, I was like, right, he's offside. So that's what we were talking about. And then the boy got got his phone out and he managed to go into TNT app and he was showing it, and then he says, they're looking at a penalty now. And we're like, a penalty? And where we sat, we couldn't see a handball, and then obviously it shows us a replay, and we realised it. And we're like, well, they'll probably get it now that it's at his hand. That's what we were thinking. So it took a good while to work out in the stadium what was actually going on. But that was that. Anyway, if you two guys would like to go on mute, it's time to hear the tune.
Now there's a pub in Green Street where all good proddies you will meet. So come down here and together we'll have a jar. A welcome there you will receive, so good that you won't want to leave. A fine wee pub is Saltcoats Mermaid Bar. You'll hear the sash, and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy, as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. We all support the Queen and Crown. The prices here are the best in town, and the bar staff, they are one terrific crew. Everyone laughing, full of cheer. It's one tremendous atmosphere, singing to support the red, white and blue. You'll hear the sash, and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy, as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. It's nice to come to the Mermaid Bar when Rangers are playing at Tybrook's Park. You'll forget your worries and all your cares, singing songs against the Thames before you watch the Rangers win. For everyone here supports the Teddy Bears. You'll hear the sash, and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy, as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. If you are up from Belfast town, Tyrone, Fermanagh or County Down, Armagh, Antrim or London, Derry shores, the Mermaid is the place for you. So come and have a drink or two. Next time in Saltcoats you'll want to come back for more. You'll hear the sash, and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy, as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. You'll hear the sash, and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy, as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all.
Hi, welcome to Southside Super 6 for April the 12th. This weekend we're going to go again for over 2.5 goals. The first selection this weekend is Barrow and Walsall. The second game is Port Vale and Bromley. The third game is Raith Rovers and Airdrie. The fourth game is Greenock Morton and Livingston. The fifth game is Barnsley and Bolton. And the sixth game is Southend against Solihull Moors. If you take all 6 at over 2.5 goals, it pays 51.5 to 1. Also, since it's a Grand National weekend, we're going to go for number 7, Captain Cody, at 10 to 1 in the Scottish Grand National.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
You like that wee tune, Albert?
Aye, oh, that's a good wee tune. I enjoy that one. Singing away here. Twirling all Mrs. Albert about the place. She enjoyed it too.
Hold on a second, then we've just been joined by James. James, how you doing?
Aye, all right, mate, how are you?
Aye, good. Albert and AK's on the night, so what do you want to say, pal?
Listen, I'm just so chuffed about that performance last night. I mean, see, I feared the worst going to 10 men with just 12 minutes gone, and what a performance. A total Rangers performance last night. Every single one of them, what a performance. And Barry, what a masterstroke putting Kelly in goal. Because, I mean, I'm a fan of Jack Button, but he's just kind of defend some of the kind of non-saves that he's been doing. You know what I mean? Kind of, it was getting one a joke actually. And I was actually happy that Kelly was in the starting lineup. But just what a performance by every single one of them. Just so happy and just so chuffed. If they're feeling the worst, just after 10 minutes.
Hi, James. It was one of them. I think we all feared the worst a bit. Obviously, it took away the sort of attacking capabilities at times. What we probably could have brought to the game. And it was a long time to go with the injury time, to go with the 10 men. Eventually, even for the last 5-6 minutes, we were down to 9 men. When John Sterling went off. But how did you think? I thought Tav had a really good game last night, and I thought the 2 fullbacks. I thought Sterling had a good game with Tav, and I thought Hadji and Yilmaz done well on the other side. I don't know what you think yourself, but I thought they 2 worked really hard for the team.
I've always been a fan of Hadji. I think there's something about him, and I hope he had to keep him next year, next season. He played brilliant last night. Just determination. When he should have charged that ball, then actually, I mean, did he get the ball in the first half and just they got brought into that foul? And but no, I think Hadji. I've always liked Hadji. I thought Hadji's been a great player for us. But Tav and all. I mean, Tav was one of his best games again last night as well. All the criticism he said. But no, last night it been as you're a captain, and what a captain's performance. And I'm just so chuffed. And I think we will go through. I think we'll probably face. I think we'll face Man United, beat them, and we might get another crack at Eintracht Frankfurt in the final again. It'd be nice to get one over them after what happened a couple of years back. So here's home.
Aye, okay. Your thoughts? We'll get Man U next if we can get by this tie, and then we'll go to the final. Imagine that for this squad at the start of the season.
Aye, well, James has got it all planned out. It's last night. You look at the results. Bodo Glimt winning at home to Lazio. You know, Bodo Glimt's decent, and obviously Lazio are the stronger opponents on paper, but they're decent. Bodo Glimt. For some reason, they always seem to do well. But our 3 games finished draws. You know, Man United away to Lyon. We all know how good both teams are. I wouldn't discount Lyon there in that one. I think they'll go through for some reason. They're a wee bit like us. They seem to play better away from him, but you take them back to Old Trafford and they don't look a good team at all for me. Frankfurt and Spurs. I think Frankfurt will go through that one. I agree with you there, James. But listen, we're well in the tie. All the outsiders had the draw beat last night. Even sections of their support and back to the wall performance. 90 minutes with 10 men, and with another 5-6 minutes down to 9 men. That just shows you how determined the players were to hold on to some sort of result to take it out of Bilbao. But be under no illusion, it's a tough ask out there, mate. I think they've only lost one league game at game all season. I think they've left to go Madrid, so they've beat Barcelona and they've beat Real Madrid and they've beat all the other big guns, Seville, Valencia, Villarreal, so but let's see where it takes us. Rangers nights are Thursday nights, aren't they?
Oh, Mr. Thursday nights, who was that? I mean, that's where. I think the start that we've only lost two away matches in 9 in Europe, which is, I mean, that but any team. I mean, if it was Man United or Real Madrid, we'd not be raving about it. But 2 away matches in 9. I mean, so.
I think you look forward to, James, as come to Albert on this. We score away for him. We've done it since the campaign started, Albert, when we went to Malmo at the start. So we're scoring away for him. And hopefully we'll say that our squad probably be getting stronger for the return game when you've got Suter and Diamondi to add into the squad, Albert, and play them for 90 minutes and beyond, hopefully with 11 men on the park.
But the one thing we can't forget at all, Southside, is that Fenerbahce had never lost a knockout game in their home park in Europe. We were the first to ever beat them in a knockout game in the Rhein Midden. If we can do it, we can certainly do it the Bilbao. There's nothing to stop us, mate. This is the sort of records we break. We do it all the time. So aye. It's a game of football. Anything can happen in a game of football. That's the way I'm looking at it. But they are the favourites. Let's not kid ourselves. We're not delusional to think, we're going to go out there and do this, that. We'll be the favourites. We'll be the underdogs. There's no doubt about that. They've spent a lot of money in their squad and they've got some really, really talented players. But they're not unbeatable. No team's unbeatable. So, no, we've got a knack of going away games, as Southside said, and scoring goals in the Europe. So we've done it all over Europe. We're starting to be renowned for it, mate. So they'll be sitting. I know their manager will be sitting thinking, "Don't take this for granted. You'll get your bum felt if you take this for granted. This is not a done deal yet." So we'll see, mate. It's interesting, really interesting. But we're always stronger. We'll have some players back, and we'll all be stronger, mate. There's no doubt about that.
Well, one thing, James, we'll know how proper for the next game. But
exactly,
obviously John Suter comes back, and it's mental how they're totting these bookings up. It seems to be that John Suter had played 10 games, and that was only his 3rd booking. And what it is you get 3 bookings, and then you get a suspension. But obviously Suter had played in 10 games and picked up 3 bookings, which gives him a suspension at this stage. And it's the same with Diamondi. When he'd picked up his 3 bookings, they'd only played a few games. If you pick up 2 bookings, you get another suspension. It keeps going that way. So we've got a couple of players in the return leg that have got a chance of getting a suspension, only because this will be their 3rd booking in the competition. So you think there'd be a cut-off somewhere, James, maybe where they would stop the bookings and start afresh, but they seem to just keep them totting up.
I thought maybe after the group stages they maybe can do that. Because I mean, it's one of the best players they play these competitions, but how can they have the? I mean, not just for us, but for every club. I mean, they want the best players playing. I mean, they want to kind of advertise all the European competitions. So if you've got 2 or 3 players that are suspended for, say, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, in the Champions League, Barcelona, I mean, us, any team, I mean, it's quite kind of it's quite like take the shine after the game kind of thing with all the players missing. You thought that they'd want to kind of scrap it on, just start afresh to everybody. I mean, because after 8 games, 7 games you play. I mean, surely after 7 games, it should be. I mean, within the last 16-year-old competition, surely it should be scrapped. You know what I mean? And that's just my view. I think it should be scrapped after the group stages and get the best players actually play. And what happens after that? I mean, then it should be go back to the way it is now. But Going back to sending off, so that I hate to say it, that was a definite sending off last night. You said Williams was clean on and clean through and goal, and I think one of the pals was saying the day that Popper took one for the team. I don't think he did. I think he did take one for the team, right? But I thought he actually generally went for the ball. I didn't think he actually would get sent off. But actually, see when I seen it again, as a clear penalty. I mean, see it first time, as a clear penalty, mate. You know what I mean?
The handball?
A clear sending off, sorry.
Oh, sending off, aye, James.
If
you actually look at it, I've watched it back a couple of times, AK, he doesn't actually take him by the ankle, it's more his knee. As he puts his foot in, his foot doesn't actually make contact with the player or the ball. It's his knee seems to take him out. It knocks him up in the air. It's just because the challenge comes in so quick for Balogun and then him, so it's not stamped on him or done his ankle or anything like that. It's just basically his knee. When I watch the impact, it takes his legs away from him.
Aye, well, obviously the guy Williams is trying to avoid the two challenges, isn't he, with Balogun, and then obviously Proper comes in and Proper catches him. I think we're in agreement there, James. I think it was a red card. Although it seems a bit harsh, but these are the rules now. What was your had a free kick there with Proper after a thing with a penalty, and Proper staying apart, so it might have worked in their favour.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Listen, it's the rules, James, and we know the rules, and by all accounts, it was. Like I say, we were slack in the past to start with. We gave the ball away. We put ourselves into that trouble, and we took the consequences. We went down to 10 men. What did you think of the penalty, James, that we gave against us? Obviously, the score, but there was the offside, and it would have been gave offside. And I watched it back last night, watched the full game back and stuff, and they were saying they have to give the penalty because that happens before the offside. So I thought it's very soft, but I think in Europe they're the type of penalties that you get. I've seen some howlers, like Newcastle got one against them maybe last year, I think it was. It was terrible. Ball bounced up onto the player's chest and hit his hand, and they gave a penalty. I thought it was harsh. Would you think yourself, James?
It was harsh, but it's always going to be given. I mean, European referees are always going to give it. And I thought the referees didn't have a bad game. Actually, I was listening to these before, and I think it's Alby that says it was VAR that gave away. It was VAR that says that it should be a red card to prop it. It was VAR that gave the penalty. So I think the referee. I mean, it was harsh, but I think it's always going to be given. And once we go to the screen, it's 99.9% it's going to go with the VAR decision. And it was harsh, but I can understand why they gave it, because I mean, foreign referees are always going to give penalties for that. And I think what a save by Kelly, absolutely brilliant. Just couldn't believe it when he saved it. Not just saved it, but actually got it away. The way it just came off his foot and leg and went right over the bar, and just I mean, it was it's just
he was going to shout and ball there, because I know he'll just tell you it was a penalty. He'll get. I think you've probably heard this theory on it.
Yeah.
And it does take away. I'll give him his due. It takes away the grey areas and stuff. I've got to agree with him with that. I just find in Europe, you give penalties for things like that. If it'd been us here, they probably gave it against us. But doing the Premiership and that, they might have let that go, because he's following the ball. His arms are out of balance. It's come out of him. He's not intentionally trying to play the ball with his hand or arm at any point, and it just hits him. The boy's actually making contact with the ball. But Albert will just say it doesn't matter, aren't you, Albert?
Aye, the way you look at it, now, I'd say it's a harsh penalty, definitely harsh personally. But moving forward, all handballs are penalties in the area, and that's the end to it. You don't have to have this debate, and you take away the grey areas for the referees, because many times if we've seen, I remember one year, you might remember this, Southside, where Whittaker was playing for Hibs at Ibrox, and he caught the ball. He actually too hot. He caught the ball in the area. Play on. Man, do you remember it?
I think he. A wee bit.
He caught it. He actually caught the ball, and it's just play on. So you're looking at things like that and going, "How's that no on, boys?" No, we'll just carry on with that one. So for my mind, as much take away for the referees as much as you can, by the way, because they're clowns. So timekeeping, take it away. Penalty kicks, touch your haunts, penalty kick. You've no decision to make. That is the decision. You've got VAR there to back that up as well. They've already taken away the offsides for them as well, and the linesmen basically took the offsides away for them. So as much as you can take away from them, take it away, because they get it wrong that many times. But there you go. VAR gave that last night because they can get it. So they did. But if it was up the other end, you think they'd be so quick to get the other end? Who knows, mate? Who knows?
Aye, well, that's the thing. Like you say, you're taking the grey area away. James, that's what he wants to do, and just give the handballs. I get if players are flicking balls onto players' hand and all that, and they're doing by their side and stuff. I'm not having that and getting a penalty, because I think it's an easy thing for players to do. But I get what Albert's coming for. I just thought in Europe we were going to get that. But apart from that, we've come away with a casualty list to a point, James, for Sunday.
No, exactly.
Because we're going to Aberdeen. So looking forward to getting up there, as always do. And I think it matters that you see a reaction for the players, because this was the talk. James had to sit down, and it's about getting stuck in for every game and not just any game. So it'll be good to see the reaction of the players, and I think for what we can put out in the parks, there's still plenty of players there we can make a team up with. I'm looking for the same attitude and application for the players that are picked, ones that might just get a chance at, or didn't even get involved the other night, last night. So what do you think yourself? Do you see about 5 or 6 changes through the injury? Because Sterling's definitely missing. Bailey Rice would probably be a doubt. It started, and I think we're carrying a few knocks with some of the players. Ridvan certainly played with a knock, and then obviously went halfway another one. Hence the fact that you have to come on. So a wee bit walking windy day.
He's at his best in defence, I think. Aberdeen. I hate to say it, but Aberdeen did start the season kind of well. But if Aberdeen fell away, I don't rate Aberdeen. In fact, I don't rate many teams in this league. I mean, at the end of the day, we're Rangers. We should be beating Aberdeen, Hibs, fucking Hearts, St Mirren. We should be beating all these teams, and it's just frustrating throughout the season that we took points to, Motherwell and St Mirren twice, and it's frustrating that we could have been closer to them. It seems like kind of a bit lost opportunity, missed opportunity that we kind of shot ourselves in the foot. And like I said, we should put it, no matter who's missing, we should be beating Aberdeen. Like I said, we've got more resources in Aberdeen. I mean, a million times more, well, not a million, but a lot more resources in Aberdeen, whatever have. Technically better players in Aberdeen. But it's just a game of football. You know what I mean? They work for it, as they always are against us, especially at Pittodrie. But listen, it should be the application we showed last night should be the same as Sunday when we play Aberdeen. It should be the same when we play. The Queen's Park. My God, that still gives me nightmares. We should have enough to beat Aberdeen, surely.
It just depends on who's fit, James, doesn't it? It's like it'll be AK. Aberdeen's only won. They've lost one their last 5 at home. When we're conceding, when we've been travelling away from home, is the only concern. But I'd like to think that we could freshen the team up a bit. Maybe get another few players I dare say proper will have 90 minutes in him. He start on Sunday, AK, for a start.
Aye. I don't know if our support want to see proper again though, but it's going to come down to personnel and trying to protect kind of certain players in the team. But my dad says, speaking to him today, is you're playing for Rangers, you're expected to win every game. But Albert will come in, I know he will, rest most of the team and keep the big game. And I can see that theory to Albert because
I've got my
the
team.
big game is next Thursday. I know you'll have your team. You've been playing all the boys.
No.
Listen,
Want to hear my team?
Right, hold on, let him finish and you'll hear your team.
What's Rangers' allocation there for Sunday Southside? What are we at, 1,500 or 2,000 or something?
11 players. We're only allowed to put 11 players in.
Supporter, I think we're just under 3,000 now, I think, or thereabouts. I think we're getting round about that.
Well, all the guys are paying good money, so pick a team good enough to win the game. That's what I say. But on you go, Albert.
Right, we'll get him on because he's getting excited there and all that, and I'm glad he's picked a team. Right, Albert, let me hear your team. Hold on, I've got to get up about 6:00 in the morning.
Aye.
Rush a breakfast done, then have to make arrangements to get done and get the way to get to the game and all that. And
this is a certainty.
It's cost a couple of quid for tickets, as you know, and everybody that's travelling up are going up to hopefully get the win that we're wanting and expecting up there. So you tell me how excited I should be when I'm waking up early Sunday morning while you're still in your bed to watch this game. Aye, on you go.
Right, here we go. This is a team. I guarantee this will be the team. The team will be Kelly, Tav, Suter, Proper, Yefty, Raskin, Diamandi, Barjami, Danilo, Cortez, and Igaman. That's your team, mate.
You rattled that, is it again?
Kelly, Tavernier, Suter, Proper, Yefty, Raskin, Diamand, Barjami, Danilo, Cortez, and Igaman.
Right, so he's playing a back four.
No, it's usual 4-2. 4-2.
Right, so we're going away for a back, right? So you're going away for a back three, James. He's swapping it about. He's going away for the back three centre backs and he's going to a back four. Do you think you should go to HR on Monday?
I've always been a fan of the 4-4-2 formation.
So you guys say a fan of Albert there.
Yeah, Albert's talking Colin Nish, according to some out there anyway.
You don't worry about it. You don't worry about it. They don't come on and say anything.
Right, James, what do you think? Albert's right, back four.
I've always been a fan of back four, 4-4-2. And that team that actually Albert actually said that, I would be confident of that team actually going up to Aberdeen and winning. I mean, we need to give Cortez a chance. I mean, you've hardly seen him. I need to see Danilo play more. I think Danilo, I mean, we bought him for $6 million to play in these big games. And I don't think Barry's gave him a kind of fair crack at the whip. You seen him in the last game, last European game, when he was battling the technical area because he didn't get on because Tierney wanted to stay on. And I like that. I like to see that. He's disappointed not to get on the pitch. I just think that we paid a lot of money for them, and I'd like to see a lot more of Danilo. And I do think there's a striker in there. And but no, albeit that team actually, I'd be confident that team going up to Aberdeen and getting all 3 points.
Good. I think we've been joined by Bob Ger. How you doing, Bob Ger?
You sure have. How's it going, boys? All right.
Good, Paul. How are you?
I'd just like to start with saying I was so proud last night of the team. So proud of them. Their commitment, their desire, their work rate, everything. And I reckon we were 11 men in the park last night. We could have beat them. I'm just saying to Terry there, I don't think they were as good a team as Fenerbahce. They were good, but I don't think they were as good as Fenerbahce. And if we just show the right commitment next week in Spain, yeah, we can do it. Why not, eh?
Aye,
A couple of ludicrous, ridiculous decisions, but no, that's European football. You got to love with that.
I'll come to when you said that, when you don't think they were as good as Fenerbahce. Well, they beat them earlier, and I think when I look at the game, the now, where we are, I'll come to AK first. I think Fenerbahce, we came out with the wrong attitude. I understood it, but we came out with the wrong mental attitude about sitting in, I think that set into the team. And then we lost 2 goals through it. I think we had the right attitude when we went there in the first leg. And I think on last night, I think the 10 men, Bob Jaird just stifled us for an attacking sense. So hopefully, and we're getting Suter and Diamonde back for the return. So I'd like to think that will probably cause them problems, AK. But I think they've got slightly better individual players, although they might not have showed it as well last night, because I think your defending was really good with the fullbacks.
Aye, listen, Bob Jaird, I just think that Fenerbahce came to Ibrox with nothing to lose. They were at the tie. They lost 3-1 at Hamias, didn't they? So they were expected to win that game. So that they're up for giving their support something to shout about. And as Southside intimated there, I think we went out with the wrong game plan, the wrong mental attitude, and we went into our shells and they sucked them onto us, and all of a sudden Ibrox is nervous and something like that. So last night was totally different from Bilbao's point of view. I think that us going down to 10 men so early totally changed our game plan, and I think it unsettled Bilbao as well, because they weren't expecting to be the dominant possession team. But what we done good at last night is we adjusted to the situation, the personnel, the organisation, and I think that's what pleased the support and Barry more than anybody, that we could withhold their waves of attack and stop the kind of lines, the spaces in the lines. And we nullified 2 really good threats that they've got. It's going to be a totally different game on Bilbao, but we're well in this tie when the rest of Scottish football had us wrote off before we kicked the ball.
I couldn't agree more. We are well in this tie. I would have took a draw at the Saturday, that's being honest with you. To me, the 2 exceptions were the 2 Williamses. 2 good players, really good players. So if we can do a job on them out there, we've got a real chance of getting through this game. I think Fenerbahce were a better sort of a complete team. There was the 2 Williamses, the 2 individual quality players there. But the rest of the team, I thought we were as good as them. They're always going to get 70% of the park when we went down to 10 men. We couldn't play the game any other way. Not the 4-4-1. And it nearly worked for us, because you'll notice at the end of the game, if Barnhart had played in Cherny on the right-hand side, Cherny was in acres of space to running on goal. But, hey-ho, that never happened. But a really, really excellent. Didn't forget the extra time, 12 minutes. Jesus. 14, so, well done, Rangers. You did, 14 minutes, yeah. Well done, Rangers. Really good, excellent back to the wall. And I was never in a month of Sunday, never in a million years, a penalty kick. That's VAR. I'm beginning to hate it more every day. A lot of people approve it. I totally disapprove it. I want to the game right away. It nearly cost us that tie last night. The guy was offside. I'm sure a lot of you agree with me there. The guy was offside. And Sterling, he wasn't even looking at the ball.
Correct.
So, ludicrous decisions last night. That referee you thought was absolutely terrible.
I'm just hoping that
to pull him up about something, but that's their lookout.
I think we got a bit of justice with the penalty save for Liam Kelly, because I thought it was a soft penalty. But like you say, they're getting in Europe. We've seen it, and other teams have failed by it. But at the end of the day, the boy saved the penalty, and we're well in this tie getting into next week, well in the tie. But we've got to get the job done on Sunday. All Bears picked a team there. Did you have Cortez and Ignaman and Danilo?
Yep.
Aye. I think we need to freshen it up somehow. But do you think, I'll fling this one back to you quickly and I'll come to James. Do you think, Tom Lawrence, I know he was out the picture last night, but do you think just for the fact he's not played and it's a fresh player coming into the squad, if you maybe want to rest somebody?
Well, you only can play one game at a time, no? I mean, look, in a week, he's so if he's going to be fit, you may as well keep him for the Thursday game. What's the point of playing him in that team I picked, by the way? I'm serious about that team. They'll take Aberdeen apart. No problem, they'll take Aberdeen apart. And
give me a midfield again. I didn't write it down, I'm sorry. Raskin who? Diamande? Just the two of them?
Aye. The other three up top is Berjami, Danilo and Cortez. Igaman up front. That team will take them apart. No problem whatsoever, mate. Raskin and Diamande's played. Pardon?
What team did you pick, please? I didn't hear it. I would.
Right. I'll get it, Bob Jim. Kelly, Tav, Suter, Proper, Yefty, Raskin, Diamande, Berjami, Danilo, Cortez, and Igaman.
Aye, that will take Aberdeen apart. I couldn't agree more. That will, because all they'll come out on Sunday days, it's just heavy tackles and kicking you and bookings everywhere. Nothing different up there, eh? Sorry, lads, carry on.
No, it's not a bad team, James. You know, we need to refresh it. I say he's leaving it. Because you could, Enciala could come in. If, for instance, you were going to rest Proper, Suter, and give him an extra week. But I think you could probably give him a bit of game time with a view of bringing on somebody, maybe take him off to make sure that he doesn't pick up any injury, James, for next week.
That's the kind of main issue. I think we need to kind of, heaven forbid, we get another couple of injuries up there. You know what I mean? Because as Bob just said, they'll just kick us off the pitch. So we need to be kind of like, I mean, we need to actually just kind of watch that we don't pick up any injuries. I mean, especially their defence, like I said, you know what I mean? If Vidwan no been fit and Stirling no been there, then I mean, we need to just kind of like make sure that they're actually just kind of like, or the referee kind of protected as much as they can, because it's got to be a war up there, and I mean, they're going to fly into tackles and just hope that we can back in the road with 3 points and everybody got a clean bill of health. You know what I mean? Because it's got to be like a war up there.
Aye, I'm just interested to get the attitude and application. I know people have got it done as a deed rubber, AK, and it doesn't matter and stuff, but they talked about it and they said he wants to see the attitude. And because at the end of the day, you play at Rangers, whether you're where you are in the league, but you're still going to win games. There is teams round about us and can catch us if we're acting stupid and we're just losing and dropping points everywhere. So it's time that we got up there and we counted. We've already been up there and took a defeat. So I'd like to go up and rectify it on Sunday, no matter what player takes apart.
Aye, no, you're right, mate. As Barry says, the players and him, they've got a duty to go out there and put a winning team on the park. You know, the 3,000 bears that are coming up are paying good money, you know, and you're getting up out your bed at your early time, as you say, Southside, you and Big Stevie with your chop pot rolls and tequila rose, you're coming up there team-handed. but aye, listen, that's not a bad team, actually. I was expecting worse, so maybe you're not talking Colin this year after all.
I've been called worse, mate. I've been called worse.
See, the thing is, I suppose your method then is that Raskin and Diamande's got to play, although they could be two pivotal players on the Thursday night.
Well, nobody else to put in. Who else is to put in?
Well, according to the way you look at it, you're looking at it as this doesn't matter. Is that what you're going to tell me? Then I'll tell you. Right, it's a deed rubber then. Right, you're telling me it's a deed rubber.
Yeah.
Right, so why not then just play, for instance, put Paul Miso in the midfield, since probably Bailey Rice might not be fit, and just play somebody like Tom Lawrence and you'll keep Raskin and Diamande and Connor Barron fresh. and you just
Yeah,
play
man,
the
last
two
week you
then.
didn't want to do that.
I don't at all. But I'm just going by your theory. You had your team with them in it. That's what I'm saying. Don't need to get upset just because I'm pointing out that you're playing two of your pivotal players in the middle of the park against Aberdeen and a deed rubber.
Nobody else they play.
I gave you two suggestions. Yes, Paul Miso is a central midfielder. We watched him in the B team. He's had some game time.
So he is. Aye.
You agree with me? I know that, but there's a few in the first team. Hold on. There's a few in the first team no kicked a ball. Agree?
No.
Listen.
I know, it just wears you. Listen, last week, it's not a deed rubber, it's going to be played, you're going to play all your teams, and we did. And we get gubbed. Right, that's what happened. I picked this team to win this game because you want to win this game. You've already said everybody's spending money to go up there. And we want a team. That team will take Aberdeen apart. Forget about Diamandi and Raskin. They've got to play. Diamandi's now went a week without a game. Over a week without a game. Raskin's the only one that you're taking a risk with. But you're looking at Barn. You can put Barn in there instead of Raskin if you want. But that's what I'm looking at. You want to give Egeman more game time. You want to give Cortes game time because he just play anyway. Danilo needs game time. Barami needs game time. Yefty's coming in for Ridvan because Ridvan's already got an injury. Souters now went a week without a game. You could rest Tab and bring one of the boys in and play right back. Play a right back. But who you go at? There is
would you try Fernandez, the boy we signed on loan that's not really been gave a chance?
No.
All right. No, it's a good team. I agree with your team. I was just picking at it, mate. Just because I knew I could with the two midfielders. But it's a good team. Bob J, he's picked a good team there. So
I think so. Aye.
At the end of the day, like I say, you've got to, as much as it's a massive game next week, and it's probably the biggest game of the season next Thursday. Right. You've got to at least put a team out, I think, that can have a right go at them. Like I say, they've only lost one in their last 5. It'll be competitive as we expect. It's an early kick-off, which doesn't suit everybody, but it is what it is for telly. And we just have to go up there and hopefully stuff them and get the 3 points, and it'll be a happy journey down the road.
I always want to go up there and beat them because I didn't cry them Aberdeen. I cry them an organisation to the North East that only plays 4 times a year and kicks their lives with the games 4 times a year. That's my opinion on them. I didn't care about them whether they win, lose, draw, exist. Because I'll never forget what they've done to the best midfield player this country's ever produced. But they say that's a long time ago. No, in my mind it isn't. Anyway, that's my brief take on Aberdeen. Aye. Got a strong team out there. We've got a lot of quality players that need game time, like you say, like Lawrence, like Cortes. I want to see the best of this Cortes. A good player, the boy. So I would give him a start. If he's fit, give him a start on Sunday and see how he gets on. And I really do think, I agree with Albert. I think that team is good enough to take them apart because they're no great shakes. A bunch of heifers, supposedly a bunch of heifers. So there you go. I'm sorry, Aberdeen, I'm not being more complimentary towards you, but I never will be.
I think they're number one. Mitrov, I think, wasn't a bad goalkeeper at the start of the season for them, but he's back out again injured. So I think you can expect that they might play Shinnie. I think maybe make an appearance against us in Sunday. AK, would you think?
Aye, probably. He likes to sharpen his studs for us coming up there, doesn't he? So, but listen, Aberdeen's been a funny old team. Start of the season, I think they were flying their first 10, 15 games. I think they had hardly lost a game, and even our support was turning to us and saying, well, how's our team not doing as well as them? And then the next 10, 15 games, the wheels fell off the pram. But no, we're well comfortable in second. We're budgeted to be there. We're well ahead of the rest of the league, and that's where we should be, well ahead of the rest of the league. But you sense the frustration in the Rangers support. For the turn of the year, we beat Celtic twice. They dropped 14 points and we dropped 18. That's for the the frustrations come for Rangers support. But I like Albert's team there. Just go up there and, unleash some of the ones that we've no been getting game time to, like, say, Igamani, play him in his proper position. You're putting Buzrami in behind him as a 10. Good. Let's see what Cortez can do, and let's see what Danilo can do. And that defence is pretty solid. So, let's go for it, Albert. I'm with you, mate. Southside's just been awkward tonight. I don't know. It might be bad week or something.
I want to see these. I want to see that forward line playing, or they three and one playing together again. Because the last time they played together, they played really well, really well. So I want to see it again, and that'll be enjoyment for me to watch that game, because it is a dead rubber. No matter the way you look at it, it is a dead rubber. I know all this pride and all that, but at the end of the day, if you win, lose or draw, it makes no difference to anything. It's a dead rubber, but you can have some enjoyment out of it. You can say to yourself, well, we're going to bring these players in. They've not been playing. We want to see them playing again, because they played against Kilmarnock at Ibrox and dismantled them. No bother. Absolutely no bother. So I think this is a proper football team. I think these boys can play well together. These are the football players in our club, the true football players in our club. All we need today, this is a skeleton I'm talking about. This is all we need today, is add the quality and the defensive positions and a bit more in midfield, and you'll have a decent team.
Aye, I think on the right they've got a threat, a boy Shayden Morris. He's quick and he likes to get to the line, and I think the way we've bought, I think Ridvan probably will not start on Sunday. He might think of resting him, and probably have to be Yefty. Will probably start at left back.
Ridvan's injured, mate.
Aye, he came off.
He could take off it, aye.
I heard him saying that. Nisbet's obviously going to be a threat because he started scoring goals again for them. But I look at the team that we put out, and I agree, Albert. I want to see Oscar Cortez try and get some game time now. He's been well back in training, for what I've heard, and it's probably time to get him on the park. If we don't start Czerny and you want to keep him for next Thursday, I go with that if that's the case, and it's time to unleash him. Or if it comes to it, play the young boy Finlay Curtis, who has got no fear. Boy's got ability. He certainly knows where the goal is. He's just needing opportunities in the team, James. So we've got Oscar Cortez. We think will be ahead of him because of the money we've paid, and we want to see him on the park. I'd like to, hopefully, maybe Barry will think that way, we might see him on the park, because I think he's got talent. It's just he's broke down 3 times with different injuries, and that's just been the most frustrating thing for the support, and then everybody just thinks he'll always be injured. So we need to try and get him back on the park and hopefully see him play up to the end of the season, or get most game time as possible so we can see him.
It has been frustrating, kind of been one injury after another with him, but there is quality there. I mean, I think you can see it there. I'd love to see him on the pitch on Sunday, and just see what he can do. I mean, because it's not hoping to buy him permanently at the end of the season. So we need to see what he's like, and I just hope that he actually had a great game, because I do think there's a player in there, and hope his injuries kind of all behind him, and hope he can kick on and be a kind of pivotal player for us going into next season, because I think there's a player there, and I think he'll be vital for us going forward next year. I really think he's I do have faith in him actually being a hit with us, a good player with us next season.
Hopefully. It's costing £4.3 million, Bob.
Exactly, yeah.
We'll need to pay the transfer fee. It has been 3 separate injuries he's been out with. So you want to get him on the park, let's see, let him get a run of games, hopefully. And probably Sunday would be a perfect time to get him on the park.
Oh, you're asking me the question?
Yes, Bob, yeah.
Aye, right, sorry. We've all been waiting to see this laddie, to see what we can do. We've seen what he can do already. That day in the 5-0 demolition of Hearts, so he was brilliant that day. And obviously we want more. So you keep mentioning these 2 words, dead rubber. That's the league to the end of the season. So get him out, see if he's fit, see what he can do, and we can look forward to next year. Are we compelled to pay the money for this laddie? Are we compelled to do it yet? Are we committed to paying for him? I don't know.
Obligation to buy. Yep.
I believe so, Bob. Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, fair enough.
We gave him a 5-year contract. We gave him a 5-year contract, so it's time to try and. It's time to try and get. Let's see.
Rangers have been the Dickie Knee Brigade, for a benevolent fund for the Dickie Knee Brigade for too long, and we hope this isn't. Sincerely hope that this isn't another year. And when it's a spectacular play winger on your books that can go to the back byline, take people on, tear them apart, do other things. Give him a chance. Get him out here on Sunday if he's fit. If he's at all near fitness, which he should be, get him on the park on Sunday, definitely. We have you next Thursday. We have few. Danilo, you're the same.
Just match time.
No proved up point.
Just match time for them, AK. For Danilo and Cortez. And I think if we agree that you get Ignaman through the middle, as Albert agrees, then it'd be good to see the three of them on the park at the one time. It's a chance to see them. We can make changes with a few at the bigger game on the Thursday, and let's see if they can add to the team, because they should know the shape now. They've been sitting, working and training on the sidelines, so it's just about getting the game time now.
Southside, they should be bursting to get an opportunity in the team. And James touched on it earlier. We forked out £6 million on Danilo, and that was under bail right enough, and we've committed to buying Cortez for 4.3, so they're £10 million that we've got sitting on the bench, so they should be bursting into that team, gaining an opportunity to oust others that's doing no so well in the team. And obviously our running results and form proves that we're no doing too well, so it's competition for places. Barry talks about it all the time. We speak about it: attitude, application, competition. That's what playing for a big club should be. We're in a quarter-final of a European competition here. For the turn of the century, there's only ever been 4 Scottish teams in the last 8 of a European competition. Rangers have been there 3 times. So, come on, there's opportunities here. There's places up for grabs. As Liam Kelly proved last night, get out there and, show to the manager your ability and why you're at our club in the first place.
I know you said that. I'll just take Shooter out of Team Albert. We'll just take Raskin and Diamondi and all for next week. No, but listen, you've got to. We want to try and keep momentum. Listen, see the support, right, and everybody that watches, right. We're watching the team this year. I know the magnitude of the game next week, right, but see, this is about what we've been complaining about, Albert, about going to these games and the players are switching off and they're not putting the effort in and they're not doing. And they've had a meeting and he's expecting, so I expect him to refresh it. And then the players that come in, like Danilo, like Ignaman, hopefully Cortez, if he's playing Raskin or Diamondi, then the attitude and application, like maybe get Raskin off when we can at some point in the game. If Cortez even starts, plays 60 minutes, get a good 60 minutes out and bring on Finlay Curtis, give him the last half hour, something like that.
The trouble we'll go at Southside with the team is too many of the team, too many of the squad are supplement players. If you think of the players we've signed, I like some of the players we've signed, but none of the players we have signed, not one of them, has been the mainstay at any team they came for. They've all, like Butland, I say the Butland substitute, blah, blah, blah. But you read through a whole lot of that team, that all the players we have signed, not one of them was the star of their team. Not one. So they're all supplement players to me. They're players that are in the background, they're part of a team. They're not the mainstay of the team. And this is what we need to sign now. This is the quality I'm going on about. We need to sign quality into the team. And you can have, these boys will shine to the end, but they can't be the main event. That's what Disney carries. This is the application and commitment we're talking about. These players have no go to it. They're just simply no go to it within them. So you need to build it into the team with decent quality players. Like your Richard Goff and all them. They're all that type of player I'm talking about. They're the mainstay of the team. They're the backbone of the team. Andy Gorham, Mark Haitley, Alan McCoy's, people like that. These are the players that's missing for us. That type of player that can carry a team. You've got your Cortez, you've got your Danilos, you've got the good players, by the way, but they're not the mainstay of a team. So if you get that mainstay, these are like the leaves that hang off the branches, basically. You've got to put a branch for them to hang off it. That's basically what I'm talking about. Butland, Dessers, they're just talkers, mate. They're just talkers. They've never been the star of any team they've ever played for. They're just supplement players, mate. They just come into clubs and they do their bit, but they can't be the main event. And they just sit there and they're quite happy to take the money and they're quite happy to be part of a team, but they don't want to be the mainstay of a team. And that's what's lacking in Rangers. It's been lacking in Rangers now for about over a decade now, mate. It's just we need to get these players that we require back into our team, back into our club. And you know, we all know the players I'm talking about. It's not I've come up with a new idea or anything. These players are always been here. Your Ian Ferguson's, your Graham Roberts. You know what I mean? These type players, they've always been here, mate, with Rangers. Always. Your Stuart McCalls. You know what I mean? These type players with the attitude they've got and you can rely on them. In hard times, these boys stand up. They always stand up. You can hang your Jaco on these players. But the ones we've got now, some of them are really nice players, really good players, but they've just no got that other bit, that real dedication. I know dedication might not be the right word, but they can carry the team themselves. They're not going to lie down to anybody, nobody. So that's it. We keep saying it, we're too nice a team. We are too nice a team. That's just the way we are. These blokes like Tav, too nice a guy, really nice guy. You can't really hang your hat on Tav and things like that. Can score your goals, can play good in games, can do a lot of things for you. But you go, when the chips are down, really down, can he carry this team? And it's not just one guy. You need a, in my mind, if you're getting a 23-man squad, you need at least 10 players that you can go. You'll probably have 6 in the team at any given time, 5 or 6 in the team at any given time, but you need 10 in the squad. And that's what we're lacking, mate. That's the heart, the soul of the team. Sorry for ranting it.
No, you're right. I still think you need experience in your core of your squad. You know, people that have maybe even if they come in, they're 25, 26. I'm not worried about that because the more projecty players you buy at 2021, and we're asked them to play this 3 games a week when we get into Europe and all that, and they've got to go and get your bread and butter league points, and like you say, we come up against the physical league that we're in. You're asking these players to have it to go all the time, and we've found that it doesn't happen. So we need to get experience into our team going forward as a squad and build the squad to help a lot of these players that might be there next season that have learned for this experience. James, we've came to the end of the show. So your final thoughts, pal, and thanks very much for phoning in. I appreciate it. No,
this is mate. Thanks very much for taking my call. It's just listen, it's opposite zombies, isn't it, on Sunday, and then hopefully they can do what we've done. We will be Real Betis and beat them 3-2. That team we went to Spain. Hopefully we get the same result next Thursday night. But listen, we are the people, mate, and we'll always be Rangers, we'll always be there, and upwards and onwards.
Great, mate. Thanks very much for phoning in. I appreciate it. You're always welcome on the show. Bob J, last words.
Greg Jardine for size. There you go.
Yep. There you are.
And Shearer. They were characters. They never gave in. Albeit you're right enough on what you're saying, mate. Spot on. We haven't got enough of that in the team anywhere. But hey ho, we're going to Aberdeen this Sunday, and he will put you an experimental lineup, and we'll see where it goes, where it takes us from there. All the best, lads, and really enjoyable discussion tonight again. As always, Rangers Radio never fails to please.
Well, Bob J, thanks very much for taking the time to phone in. Appreciate it as always. You're welcome on here anytime. As always, have been a stalwart of the show, so you have. So thanks very much, mate.
Hey, boys. Good night now.
Good night.
See you later, Bob. Yeah.
Hey, Bob.
Well, I remember because I'll probably forget. There'll be a show on Sunday. I believe the Techie team will be happy. It'll start at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning. Pre-show for the Aberdeen game. just well I remember. So there'll be a show on Sunday. Some of us are getting up earlier than that and having to make the effort, but aye. So there'll be a show on Sunday for everybody that's going to be joining us. Albert, last words.
Aye, good conversation tonight, guys. I enjoyed that. It's a wee bit different, talking about a game that was nothing each and trying to get some positives at it, and it was all positive because it was a great result. But I enjoyed it. Nice being on with Big AK and yourself and the techie boys. So now bring on Aberdeen. We'll put them to the sword.
Yes, she's a sheep. Hey, what are you saying, AK?
I enjoyed that as well. Albert, yourself, Southside, and the callers, James and Bob's here. Thanks for coming. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Aye, a wee bit of positivity to base the thing making up to Aberdeen. So I hope it's the silence of the lambs up there. Come on, the Rangers.
First of all, I'd like to thank all the troops on YouTube for listening to the show tonight. As always, everybody else out there on Facebook and listening to the show, hope you've enjoyed it. Yous too, guys, thank yous very much for helping us out tonight. It's been muchly appreciated and enjoyable to do the show. So thanks for that, guys. I also thank the techie team, All School Blue and Fox, for doing the show tonight and doing all the technicals, and they'll be back at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning. So I'd like to thank them. So Sunday, more odds lead to Aberdeen. We'll go up there and we'll be expecting a win as a Rangers support. So hopefully the team will do us proud, because we'll do them loud and proud for the stands. So hopefully we'll be back down the road happy with 3 points in the bag, and then it'll be a big one next Thursday. So as always, thanks for listening. There's only one team and one crown. Take it away, Fox.
God